kind of like getting there with bullet dynamics. So I did show you ClothFX earlier on, and the problems with that, with errors and explosion bugs. Just gonna go through this really quick. Using a mid-res or high-res and with bullet as a collision object is actually pretty good, and it works pretty nice. Just like with ClothFX, you should be careful about collision settings and millimeter offsets. Friction, setting that to lower, will make the cloth a bit more clothy. So try not to have that set to 100. You'll see that when you use this object and you have bone deformations, you actually use a deforming object and a shape retention of 100. This was set to, in another file I used there as a reference, this was set to something like 6 or something like that. That kind of created bugs, errors, jittery polygons, so set that to 0. For the cloth, I got these settings. By the way, the collision also has the same stuff going on there. You can see that there is jitter using bullet as well, but it's slightly less, so I haven't really been able to remove that. I tried changing the friction, didn't really help. This is the friction of that object, so that's useful when you have cloth upon cloth, but in this case, you might as well set this to 0, it's not going to affect anything. This dampening, kind of like creates more droopy cloth. Liner stiffness, I can't really recall. Yeah, volume, pressure conservation, and shape retention, you want those to be quite low, especially shape retention. Shape retention, I believe, is pretty much the same as resistance in ClothFX. Yeah, so you can see that this cloth kind of like slides down here, and if I believe if I set this higher, it's going to do less of that. This is like the second, third time I try bullet soft dynamics, so yeah, I'm not going to get into like expert mode here. That was a surprise. Haven't had that happening before. Okay. It's so much damp on that you actually get this kind of like funky effect. So in this case I actually moved it the wrong way. So that's 5%. So as you can see, you can get problems with bullet as well, and sometimes it will even have polygons penetrating the object, just like ClothFX, but it just operates better in general. So it's just less errors. but it's really not, one. It's not really a click and go solution either, using a bullet soft dynamics. And also, again, a jacket and jumper is pretty much one of the most difficult things you can create. Let's set this to 10, and let's try you can see here that I'm using a subpatch object. By the way, subpatch objects actually deform better than Catmull Clark when it comes to putting them on bullet dynamics, which is good because subpatches are actually faster. Okay, that was really droopy. That has somewhat the same... Okay. That has somewhat the same effect as a dampening in a way. So once again, I should have put that higher, not lower. This means that you can also kind of do this to your benefit. You could create interesting shapes doing this and then freeze that object and send it over to Molder and sculpt and stuff. The way you get this to work with subdivision is like Jason said on the forums. Go to properties and you set the subdivision to after displacement or last. Let's set this to 0 so you can actually see what this really looks like. Nice thing, of course, is that I don't have to recalculate if I change this. And that's pretty much it for low-res. Low-res calculations. Again, it jitters slightly, but less than ClothFX.